Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Zenithan, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. And don't know how long this video is going to be today, in all honesty. Not really an exciting day, in all honesty. No new champions, no new keywords. Lots of Ionia cards, though. So that's nice. I like Ionia, but I'll be honest with you, only like two of these new cards are kind of interesting to me. Lots of recall cards, though. It seems like what a lot of us thought is going to turn out to be true, that Ahri is most likely going to be some kind of recall champion. So Ahri Kennen looks like a pairing that Riot is trying to push. But we don't have to play Ahri with Kennen or Kennen with Ahri, probably. Me personally, I'm going to try Kennen with things like Aphelios or Karma. Anyway, though, let's go look at these support cards for Ahri. Because we didn't get Ahri today, we got her support cards, so let's check them out. Okay. Here's the problem though. Like, this is why I don't think this is gonna be that long of a video. How long can I ramble about these cards? I don't know. Because these cards are interesting, but I'll be honest with you, none of them are too complex. So yeah, not much to talk about. First off, the Mourned. 1 mana, 2/1. Okay, pretty nice, pretty nice. Good stat line for the cost. Uh Elusive. Okay, very, very powerful keyword, as we know nowadays, and we've known for a while. Nexus Strike, Recall Me. Okay, so that's kind of a negative. Now I've seen some people say like, "Oh, this is great. You replace Navori Blade Scout with this card." Not really. One of the strengths of Navori Blade Scout is that it's a decent blocker. So you play it, let's take Zed Poppy, the deck that plays Navori Blade Scout the most at the moment. You play Navori Blade Scout and you're against like a more aggressive deck. Navori Blade Scout is good at like slowing your opponent down while you set up your board to get a good rally. Mourned isn't really doing that. Like, you can argue like, well, you can keep getting an elusive. Sure. We've seen cards similar to this already that like you Nexus Strike and it gets back to your hand or something else. Like the Flight, for example, is the perfect example. Flight, Nexus Strike, it draws a card and then gets put in the top 3 of your deck somewhere. Now I will say this. It is really good at getting recalls, and it does block certain elusives really well, like Green Glade Duo gets blocked by this really nicely. Zoe's get blocked by this, etc., right? So that's nice. Really, I think the strength of this card is going to come down to how good is the recall deck? How much do you want a lot of cards that can be recalled? Because this card doesn't really need any help to activate a recall. Doesn't need any secondary card like a Monastery of Harana or a Homecoming or anything. This card by itself will get its recalls done. 1 health is a little meh, but it's a 1-drop. 1 health's not that uncommon, and 1 mana 1/1s or 1 mana 2/1s with elusives are playable anyway. For example, Zoe. So yeah, this card is mostly for the recall decks and nothing else. So it's kind of hard to evaluate depending on how good recall decks are and how good the recall synergy is. Next card, Woodland Keeper. 3 mana, 3/2. Okay. Kind of a bad stat line for its cost. When it's summoned, it gets +1/+0 and elusive for the round. That's not bad, right? Like, that's fine. I was just talking about it, in fact, the Navori Blade Scout. This is very, very similar to Navori Blade Scout. For what? An extra 2 mana? You're getting a 4/2 when it's an elusive for the turn, and then a 3/2 is left behind. Navori Blade Scout, it's a 2/1 elusive, and you get just a 2/1 when it's left behind. That's fine, and I assume what they want you to do is this is a card that wants to get recalled a lot, so you can keep summoning it as a 4/2 elusive and using it to chip away at your opponent's Nexus. That's really slow. 3 mana is quite a big chunk of mana to keep replaying over and over, especially in this meta, which is really fast. I've personally played recall decks already using things like Yasuo's and Monastery of Harana's, recalling things and then replaying them, while great value with things like Shadow Assassin is really, really expensive. So I'm not sure about this card. I feel like even in recall decks, I'd rather just play Navori Blade Scout if I want to get a card that gets elusive when it's summoned and I'll recall it. I'd rather just play Navori Blade Scout in all honesty. Next up, some payoff for recalls. Pathless Ancient, 4 mana 4/3, costs 2 less if you've recalled a unit this round. It's fine. Like, that's it. It's fine. It's just no text, no anything. Obviously, if you're paying 4 mana for it, it's kind of bad, but 4 mana 4/3 is not the worst in case you can't recall and you need a unit right away. You can summon this and it's still not that bad. But you definitely want to pay only 2 mana for this, and it is overstated for a 2-drop. Like, 2-drops are usually 3/2s, and a 4/3 for 2 mana would probably be played. It's just going to come down to how easy is it to activate the recall early on turn 2. The Mourned helps you with that, I guess. But yeah, not too impressed by this guy. Not too much to talk about with him, too. It's not too complex. So yeah, it's fine. Now, the next card is what I like. God Willow Seedling. Of course, I like the weird, dirtily landmark. 3 mana landmark. Play the card. Recall an ally to summon an ephemeral copy of it. Okay. Seems pretty good so far, right? Countdown 2. Summon another ephemeral copy of it. So you get to recall something, bring it back to your hand. Hopefully whatever you're bringing back to your hand has some kind of like synergy. Either it cares about getting recalled so you can replay it or whatever, or has just a strong summon ability or, recall synergy in general. Then you get to summon another copy of it right away. So you get you still have a blocker in case you're playing it during your opponent's attacking turn. And it gets summoned, so you get summon abilities. And then the countdown 2 after that happens gives you more blockers / attackers, and you get another activation of the summon ability if it had the summon ability. And you still have the real copy in hand, if you haven't played it yet, of course, to resummon. That's a huge amount of value. Now, here's the problem. This is slow. This is really, really slow. But the deck I like this in so far, outside of like recall synergy stuff, Viego. Camavoran Soldier with this card looks great. Viego loves this. So you've played already. Let's assume you're playing Viego Thresh Ionia, right? You play a Camavoran Soldier. That's 1 buff to Viego. You play, and then turn 4 is usually kind of a weak turn for Viego anyway, really. You play on turn 4, God Willow Seedling, bouncing back the Camavoran Soldier to your hand, summoning another Camavoran Soldier. That's now 2 buffs to Viego. 2 turns later, you got another Camavoran Soldier. That's a 3rd buff. And then you can just play the Camavoran Soldier that was bounced, and you get a 4th buff for Viego. Your Viego is now what? A 9/8 from 2 cards? That's crazy good. And plus, of course, the Mist Ling? It's not a Mist Wraith, I'm pretty sure. I think it's like a Encroaching Mist, maybe? Is now pretty sizable too, and actually real cards, which will block or attack really well and help Viego level up that much faster. So, big fan of this card. There's also some other like cute stuff you can do, like Shadow Assassins are cute with this. Aloof Travelers, of course. So pretty much summon stuff. Things with powerful summons are what you want to use this for, or of course recall synergy too. So great card. Very big fan of it. It does say recall an ally, so I assume it can work on champions. So you could also recall champions, and some champions are pretty good when they get summoned, so I like it. Maybe some like weird Ionia, Anivia deck with this. Oh, I don't think that's going to be good. I don't think Anivia is playable at the moment at all without a lot of help from Riot, but who knows? I'm just brainstorming here, right? And we got one more page of cards. 3 more cards here. Technically 2. One of these cards is created by one of the cards. First off, Memory's Cloak. 3 mana fast spell. Pick an ally being targeted by enemy fast spells, slow spells, or skills with only 1 target. Stop them. So this couldn't stop something like Make It Rain, but it can stop Monster Harpoon. I'll say this right away. This card is worded really poorly. When it says it's it will stop a spell or skill that's only targeting one, does that include things like concerted strike and single combat? Because technically single combat and concerted strike are targeting two units, maybe three with concerted strike. You know, the unit that is getting struck and the unit that's doing the striking, that's technically targeting two units. So I don't know if this will be able to target things like single combat. I feel like it should, but I'm not sure. Good old riot wording, right? But yeah, I like the card. I'm not the biggest fan of it because it does whiff on a lot of things, and I think I'd rather just play Notify most of the time instead of Memory's Cloak. Very good at protecting champions, I guess. Like I can see it being played in like Zed Poppy, in fact. Maybe Lee Sin. Being able to stop skills is nice. You can't really Notify skills, you have to deny them. So that's nice, but I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the time I'd rather just be playing Notifies or Denies instead of this. Good spell to get off of Conchologist though, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I like this spell. I'm tempering my expectations. In other words, I've seen a lot of people say this card is busted and broken. I just like, as someone who actually plays a lot of Ionia, I don't think it's that good, but I do like it. So yeah, like I'm a fan of it. I like it. I just don't think it's that powerful or will be that meta. I think it'll be like a one, maybe a two of, and it'll be very meta dependent on how good skills are and how much you want to counter skills. Because yeah, it does whiff on a lot. You can't stop things like rallies, glimpses, like things that target your opponent's stuff or your opponent would use to target their own stuff. So yeah, that's my main reason for not being the biggest fan of it, but I do like it. The next card, I don't like this card at all, in all honesty. 9 lives, 5 mana burst speed spell. Summon a liminal guardian. Okay. Sure. What is a liminal guardian? Liminal guardian is a 5 mana 3/2. Kind of meh, right? Maybe it does more, right? Well, it does. When it's summoned, summon a random 1-cost follower from your region. Okay, so 5 mana for 2 bodies, and like, I don't know the average stats for a 1-drop, but let's say like a 2/1 on average. That's what, like 5/3 of stats, so 8 total stats for 5 mana, which is not awful, but not like on par with what a 5-drop is. When this card is recalled, though, transform it back into 9 lives, so it has a little concussive palm tail of the dragon thing going on, right? Obviously, the strength of this card is in the burst speed, right? I do not think like people are going to look at this card and be like, wow, that's terrible stats for the cost, because everyone knows that, right? For 3/2, that's what you expect from a 2-drop. We have 2-drops that summon 1-drops already, Mirai Warden, right? But yeah, like I don't know. We actually have a card kind of like this already in Shurima. The time has come, summon a Clockling. And if you've predicted that game, you get to summon 2 Clocklings. Now, granted, Clocklings are much worse than this. Clocklings are just 2 mana 2/2s with no text at all. They're just 2/2s for. So you're getting 2/2s for 5, which is terrible. But at burst speed, I've tried to play that card before in more controlly decks. It was not good enough. Really, it's not a terrible card, but it's so slow. Like, here's the problem again. It's just so slow. Like, you play 9 lives. You get the 1-drop and you get a liminal guardian, and then you recall it, and then you have to play 9 lives again. That's a lot of mana. First off, you have to find a way to recall the liminal guardian, and then you have to replay 9 lives, which that's another 5 mana investment, and you're getting like a 1-drop? Like some more 1-drops as payoff? That's not great of a payoff, in all honesty. But yeah, like I really wish the Liminal Guardian had something else going for it. Maybe like an extra point of health, maybe some kind of keyword or something. It just doesn't feel like it's doing enough for 5 mana, for both the 5 mana investment and the whole like recall to replay it kind of investment that it's asking for. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this card is really good and I'm just not seeing something here, but I personally don't think it's good. Anyway, though, that's going to be it for today's video. That's going to be it for all the cards today, in fact. Ahri support looks okay. Maybe Ahri will bring it all together, and Ahri will make it so the tempo losses you take from recalling your cards isn't that bad. Might be a case of like Blade Dance and Aurelia, where Blade Dance kind of looked a little meh, and then they showed off Aurelia. Recall's looking a little meh. Maybe Ahri will pull it all together. Like, Kennen is strong, don't get me wrong. Kennen is really, really strong, but I think Ahri's going to have to be decently strong too, so Ahri Kennen can carry the recall synergy deck to the meta. Anyway, though, I would love to hear your opinions on these cards. I'm not that big of a fan of a lot of them, but some of them are nice, like Memory's Cloak, and the Landmark's pretty cool too. If you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. It always helps me out. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Zeniton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!